Fine, students. So, once again, good morning. So, storytelling is considered to be an art, right? There are lots of arts that we have in our life. For example, these are arts. Art is nothing but the skill that each one possesses. For example, drawing is a skill. So, the art of drawing is a skill that everyone may not have. Similarly, the art of speaking, okay, the art of speaking well in front of a public, which is termed to be public speaking, is again a skill. So, be it painting or drawing or speaking or writing, okay, authors do have a special skill. That is why everyone cannot become authors, right? Who is an author? What is the difference between a writer and an author? Any idea? We can use both the words synonymously. A writer is nothing but the author. But technically, when it comes, there is a difference between these two words, writer and author. Is anyone aware of the difference?
Ma'am, author is the one who writes some specific books, novels, or some write-ups, whereas writers can write anything like our imagination, something.
Uh, okay, what you said is good, but the difference between them, actually, authors can also write on different topics. Okay, authors are not specified to write only on some special or specific genres. It's not restricted for them also. The main difference between the writer and an author is a writer is a person who writes, who has the habit or the skill of writing, and he keeps it himself, basically. Whereas an author is a person who writes and publishes it. Okay, an author is the person who writes a book or writes a story and publishes it. So there is a difference between writing simply, keeping it in your bedroom or keeping it in your study room, and there is a difference in publishing it. Okay, just think you are a story writer or you are an article writer. You write a lot of articles or lots of stories. You are a very good writer, okay, and you are having a collection of stories with you. If you simply keep those collections at your home, or if you simply write it and keep it under your pillow, will the world know that you are a writer or you are a skilled story writer or a poet? Some may be good at writing poems. Okay, not I'm not just limiting to story writing or article writing. Let me go to poetry also. Imagine that you write a poem every day and you reached 50 poems. Okay, so if you simply keep it inside your home, no one is going to know that you are a skilled writer. So how to let the know world let the world know about it? You have to let the world know only through publishing it. So that is the difference between a writer and an author. Okay, so the reason for discussing that is storytelling is also an art. Okay, so the stories that we read today, the stories that we listen today are all part of the ancient practice of storytelling. So initially there was no written system of books. There was no habit where stories were written and published. Only oral narration was there. That is why we consider storytelling as an art. So let us see what are the different aspects, key aspects of storytelling and the different dimensions of story writing and how to learn story writing and storytelling. All right. So in this workshop, you will mainly look at what is storytelling. Then you will learn the history and goal of storytelling, the key aspects for storytelling, examples for storytelling, and how to practice storytelling. It is from the examples itself you will understand storytelling can be converted into story writing as well. Okay, the one who can very well do, the one who can very well tell a story or narrate a story can become a good story writer as well. Okay, because how a person becomes a good writer, it is through the narration first. Okay, it is through the narration that a person starts developing the art of creating a story, imparting it to the people, and making the audience attentive, making them focused, and later on the person can also write it. All right, so that becomes story writing. Storytelling changes to story writing. So the origin is storytelling. It is from storytelling only we can convert it into story writing. Okay, so now let's see. Yeah, this picture is something that we all love because this is a picture that resembles each of us, each of our childhood. because in our schools, right from the KG classes or coming to the first standard or second standard, I think till our primary classes, we had a period called a storytelling period or an oral narrative period, where teachers would be narrating different stories. Sometimes, mostly this happens in the English periods only. In the English hours, the teachers sometimes used to narrate a story. Sometimes the teachers also ask us to read the content in the text. And sometimes the teacher will visualize the story using some graphics or animation, especially if smart class is available, the teacher used to do like that. Otherwise, the teacher will help you to visualize the story by explaining it, by narrating it in a very sweet manner. Right. So in this picture, you can see a teacher is teaching five kids. She is narrating a story to five kids. So we can consider this either as a classroom, or let it take it as a library, or it can even be an activity room, a space for conducting extracurricular activities, right? Be it of anything. Okay. Now, what is storytelling exactly? Storytelling is the art of
Good
communicating.
morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Sir has left the meet. Okay. Okay, so what is storytelling? So you can see that storytelling is the art of communicating through narratives. Narratives means the script or the dialogue that we use in stories. So storytelling is considered to be an art. It's considered to be an art of communicating through narratives using words, actions, and visuals also to convey a message or experience. So, what is the intention of narrating a story, or why do we narrate a story? Okay, in kindergarten classes or in the first or second standard, we all have story reading as one paper. Okay, we have an oral test. The teachers will tell that you have to read the first paragraph tomorrow. You have to by heart the first paragraph and come tomorrow and explain it in the class. Sometimes the teachers will tell you have to prepare a story on your own. You have to present it in your own words. Okay, and sometimes they used to give an activity book, and in that a story will be there. You will have to learn that story, and in the next class you have to you have to enact and narrate, present the story. Anyways, what we are doing there, whatever we see, there are different activities that the teachers used to give us. Either she will ask us to narrate a story in our own words, or she will ask us to by heart the first paragraph or the entire story and come and present it in the class. Sometimes she also used to ask us to act and narrate the story. So, in fact, what is happening there? Whatever method you opt, you are trying to share, you are trying to pass a message, or you are trying to convey an experience to the audience. So, it is a universal form of communication that has been used for centuries to educate, entertain, and connect people across culture and time. So, storytelling is not just to entertain you, it is to educate you as well. It is to educate you the moral values, cultural values, and this has been taking place for the last few centuries. All right, so this is how we understand storytelling as. Okay, so now let's see what is the goal of storytelling. Storytelling can be an art of conveying essential thoughts in a powerful manner. Yes, many thoughts, many essential thoughts, or be it any informative thought, or something that is touching, something that is a stimulation. Okay, so storytelling can convey any kind of such essential thoughts that one has to follow in his everyday life, and it can be conveyed in a powerful manner also. Let me take an example. We watch a lot of movies. Movies are all actually stories, right? The script writer writes the script, and that script is actually a story. And once we sit and watch a movie in front of the TV or in front of the cinema theater screen, what happens? We are impressed or we are moved by the different emotions that the script writer has included in the film. Similarly, if we read a book also, what happens? The same thing is happening. You are totally moved by the different emotions imparted in you by the writer. So now we can watch, nowadays we can visualize a story, we can read a story. But in those days, there was no visualization. There was neither visualization nor written scripts. Rather, oral narration only was there. And it was a powerful tool to evoke emotions like empathy, kindness, honesty, and it can ignite many other positive qualities also. So, from story narration, imagine that you watch a movie. Some movies are really inspiring, no? We learn a lot of lessons from those movies. Some movies at the same time would be very dull, so we may not like the movie. So, that depends on one's perspective. For example, if there is a movie called ABC or XYZ, one person may like the movie because he would have learned something interesting from it. But for the another person, the story must have not attracted him a lot. Okay, so it depends on perspectives, one's own perspective also. But in general, we can say stories will help us to share, or the stories will help us to educate ourselves, to share the knowledge that we have gained. And provoking thoughts and inspiring actions is the ultimate goal of storytelling. So, what are the two goals of storytelling? Provoking thoughts. So, once you read a book or once you complete watching a movie, some new thoughts would be provoked inside you. You will start thinking about some creative aspects. Okay, imagine that. Let me take an example. There are books like detective books are there, crime thrillers are there. Sometimes there are also some romantic stories or tragic stories or comic stories. Okay, let it be anything. Once you complete reading, you will get some spark from the book. Am I correct or not? You will get some spark. So, that thought provocation is the first goal of storytelling. And the second goal is inspiring actions. You are inspired by one character. For example, if there is a movie where the hero fights with the villains, the hero fights with the gundas, the stunt scenes, okay, all those things happens and finally the hero and the heroine will get united. So you are inspired by that hero. Okay, I should also be bold in my life if something unexpected happens. If someone if someone stands against me or if something unexpected happens, I should also fight like this. I should also be bold. Lots of action movies are there in our language, right? Not only in Tamil but also in many other languages, Indian languages. So provoking thoughts and inspiring actions are the ultimate goals of storytelling. Okay, now let's go to the history of storytelling. Storytelling has a prolonged history. As I told in the introduction, it is not just followed since the last 25 years or 50 years or just 1 century. It has a prolonged history. Before the advent of writing, storytelling was primarily an oral practice. There was no practice to write, there was no habit of writing, there was no habit of shooting films because technology was not developed those days. So, storytelling was primarily an oral practice. Oral test அப்படின்னா, we just have to do it through mouth. Okay, oral exam, written exam. There are two types of exams, no? What is meant by an oral exam? Oral exam, na, the teacher will ask the question, you will have to answer it through your mouth. Written exam is something that you write on the paper and give it to them. Okay, even during our college days, when I opted Tamil as my third language, there was an oral exam and written exam. We were asked to study only a few Tirukurals and we were asked to narrate it. Okay, that is called narration or oral exam. Written exam was also there. So for oral test, the teacher will give 10 marks. For written test, she will give 40 marks. So totally 10 plus 40, 50. Likewise. Okay, so storytelling was also an oral practice. Different stories were shared through songs, poetry, and recitation. You all know what are songs, what poetry is. Recitation is nothing but narration. You might have heard poetry recitation, poem recitation. So what do? You by heart a poem, you go to school and you tell it. We all have done this in our school days, right? So recitation is nothing but narrating the story. So these narrations could teach cultural values, natural phenomena, and preserve our history. Okay, what is natural phenomena? Photosynthesis is a natural phenomena. Photosynthesis நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஸ்கூல்ல சயின்ஸ்ல படிக்கிற விஷயம். Plants prepare their own food. இது ஒரு natural phenomena தானே? அது மாதிரி birth of a human, it's a natural phenomena. Okay, how a human being is born from the uterus of a mother. But அது எப்படி? How it is happening? அது எப்படி அந்த growth எப்படி ஆகிறது உள்ள? That's again a natural phenomena. Scientists are still searching answers for that, how this miracle is happening. It's actually a miracle. Human birth is a miracle. Not only human beings, the birth of any mammal birth is a miracle only. Okay, we can just tell like this: this thing will happen. The embryo grows, then it will become a small thing. Then later it will start growing. After 270 days, the mother will deliver the baby. All these things are there. 9 months after she will deliver a baby. But how these things are happening? Edinala, why like this? Why not in a different way? That is something which is a secret still now. Still, it is a secret, right? So, likewise, natural phenomena were also taught using storytelling. Let me tell you the rise of sun and the sunset. Isn't it again a natural phenomenon? The day and night, Earth rotates around the sun. It's a natural phenomenon. So there are hundreds of natural phenomena around us. Phenomenon is singular, phenomena is plural. And preserving history. Okay, so in those days, different kings used to rule us. Democracy was not there. So at that time, what happened? Different kings used to rule. So stories about those kings and queens were passed on to the generations and generations, and this continued to happen. Okay, so this practice continued, and over a period of time, it evolved into storytelling in written form. So, after 2 or 3 centuries, what happened? People started writing the stories. They used to narrate also. At the same time, they also started writing the stories. So, now let's check what are the key aspects for storytelling. Storytelling is an art. Again, I'm telling it is a very beautiful art, but it has some key aspects. Let us see what are those key aspects. There are 6 key aspects for storytelling. The first one is narrative structure. Structure of the narrative or narrative structure. It means stories will always have a structure. Every story will have a structure, no? There will be one introduction, one opening, then the main body will be written, then one fight or something will come, a conflict will come, and finally the conclusion. Similarly, stories typically follow a structure which includes a setting. Setting means in which place the story is set, in which country, in what background. Then characters, the different characters, hero, heroine, father, mother, brother, then the friend, heroine's friend, hero's friend, that one villain. All these are characters. Next is plot. Plot is the body of the narration. It is the heart of the story. Plot is the heart of the story. Then conflict. Conflict means the part just before the climax. Conflict. And finally, what happens? The solution. Solution is the climax. Okay. Conflict means it is not just always fight. It is just a part before solution. Basically, the word conflict means a fight only. The villain and hero fight is called a conflict. Then imagine now, we know that in most of the stories, the hero and heroine will unite. But there are also stories where hero and heroine don't unite also. So several conflicts will go at home. Okay, love stories will be there. Conflicts will happen. Finally, a solution will also come. So if the solution is a happy one, we call it a comedy. If the solution is a tragic one, we call it tragedy. There are 2 types of dramas. Actually, we use these words in drama, but let me tell you what is the difference between comedy and tragedy. Comedy doesn't mean the fun element alone. Not only the fun aspect is called comedy. For example, we watch comedies of Vadivelu, comedies of Vivek, or Kaundamani Sendil. These are not the comedy. Comedy is actually the happy ending of a story. Any story that ends happily is considered to be a comic story. In that, you will have these kinds of additional elements where the serious thing will be going on in the story. Something serious would be going on. Really important. At the same time, the comedian will come and he will crack some joke and go. So this is to keep you alert in the story. That's it. Okay. And coming to tragedy, if the climax is something that is disappointing or sad, then we call it a tragic story. Okay, this is the difference between comedy and tragedy. So this is the first key aspect, that is narrative structure. Every story must have a proper structure. Now coming to the second part, emotional engagement. Every story must have the capacity to invoke an emotion in the listeners. So, storytelling aims to connect with the audience on an emotional level, making them feel a sense of empathy, entertainment, excitement, or self reflection. So, what happens once you listen to a story or once you watch a story, you will come across feelings like empathy, excitement. Sometimes it would be really entertaining. Sometimes it helps you to reflect yourself. You will learn how to reflect yourself. You will just compare yourself with the character and you can learn, oh, okay, if it is something good that I can also impart it in my life. We will look only for good things, only for good qualities, not for bad qualities. Okay. Now, the third part is communication and education. Storytelling is it's a perfect way to communicate. It's a way to share your information with others, to teach lessons to others. So, what happens? Communication and education is also successfully conducted through storytelling. Now, moving to the fourth aspect, creativity and imagination. Yes, very important. Storytellers often use their imagination and creativity to craft compelling narratives that can capture the audience attention. See, if you simply narrate a story without any salt and pepper, without any sweet and salt and pepper, how will it be? Every story must have some masalas in it. So, likewise, the storytellers will also add some creative aspects to it. They will include some imaginary aspects. So, creativity and imagination is used to make the story interesting. Now, the fifth aspect is interactive and collaborative. Stories must be interactive. So, that is why we include a lot of characters in it. If it is a story about just one character, won't it be very monotonous? So, while the storyteller is the central person, a successful story often encourages the audience participation and engagement, creating a shared experience. So, even if the characters are less, we can do one thing. We can make the story narration interesting with lesser number of characters by interacting with the audience. For example, right now, I'm just teaching you about storytelling. So I am the only person who is narrating, and you are all listeners, no? So to not make you bored, to not make you feel bored, what I'm doing, I'm using some additional points apart from those in the PPT. PPT மட்டும் பார்த்து நான் படிச்சுட்டு போனேன்னா உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் போர் அடிக்கும். So that is why I'm giving you some examples. So once I complete this PPT, then we can interact. Don't worry about that. Okay. I have two stories for you, some simple stories. Okay. So while the storyteller is central, as I told you, a successful story always looks for active participation of the audience, and the collaboration is also expected. And finally, the last aspect is public speaking. Storytelling is a valuable tool for engaging an audience in speeches and presentations. So once you start practicing this art called storytelling, this will help you to become a good speaker, gradually developing yourself into a public speaker where you can present yourself in front of a mass number of audience. Okay. So now moving to examples of storytelling. So the first example for storytelling is oral traditions. Oral traditions means the tradition where stories were simply narrated without writing. So storytelling has been passed down through generations via oral traditions such as myths, legends, and folk tales. For example, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Homer, the Iliad, Odyssey. These are some of the popular epics that were narrated in those days. Next is literary works, novels, poems, short stories, and even screenplays are all forms of written storytelling. Screenplays is nothing but dramas. Okay, then novels. Novels are fictions. Poems, short stories. These are all forms of different types of stories. Then public speaking. Again, storytelling is a valuable tool for engaging an audience in public speaking, in speeches and presentations. Then therapeutic storytelling. Therapeutic storytelling is something where the individuals can use storytelling to express their experiences and emotions. For example, if I come across an experience, an emotional experience or some interesting experience, I can frame a story out of it and tell. So, therapeutic storytelling offers a way to address challenging topics also in a non threatening manner. So, there are different topics that are sometimes expressed in the public, in front of the public, in a very careful manner. Can you give an example for that? Okay, for example, politics is a sensitive issue. Politics is a sensitive topic. Similarly, speaking about religions is a sensitive topic. And something that is related to the different lifestyles. For example, in nowadays it's okay, but in those days, these two topics like arranged marriage and love marriage, this was a very sensitive topic in those days. Nowadays, it has become a very general and a common topic. Okay, and you might also be aware of the different concepts about this arranged marriage. What is the difference between arranged marriage and love marriage? So you are all students, you are all aware of that thing. Okay, so that is why I'm discussing this very openly with you. Because we come across these kinds of discussions even at our house. Okay, so such kinds of things, if you want to deliver it in the form of a story, then it is called a therapeutic storytelling, where you can convince the public by describing or by discussing such sensitive issues in the form of a story. So, therapeutic storytelling offers ways to address some challenging topics in a non threatening manner. So, there are many movies in which politicians are defamed, spoken about different politicians, parties, and there are also many criticisms based on those stories, based on those films. But what is actually happening? They are exposing the reality. They're speaking what is happening to the public. Okay. And even as I told you, personal experiences can also be shared through storytelling. And you can see it creates a space for exploration and reflection without direct confrontation. So you are not directly attacking a person, telling that this guy did like this or this person did like that. You are not directly attacking a person. Rather, you are creating a character similar to that original person. Then you are framing a story. You are narrating it to the public. All right. And the last part or the last type of storytelling is used for marketing and advertising. Advertising is something that is very, very common nowadays. We watch a lot of advertisements, and you can see there are different advertisements narrating a story. 1 minute ad or 30 seconds ad. Some ads will go just for 15 seconds. Right? Storytelling is increasingly used in marketing to create memorable campaigns and connect with consumers. Okay, if you simply take that ad, no, what is that ad called for Hammam soap? For Hammam, there is one ad. That is a girl will be sitting in the bus. A guy will be he will be ready to create some ruckus with the girl, and one aunt will come and save that girl. So it's a simple story that goes nearly for 30 seconds, I think. Similarly, for some other examples, okay, for Ultratech Cement, different stories are there. For Vodafone, initially for Vodafone, there was a beautiful ad. Then for Hutch ஒரு company இருந்தது. For that you can see one pug will be going, one pug will be chasing a boy. Pug அப்படின்னு ஒரு dog இருக்கு இல்லையா? It will chase a boy. Okay. So that man even recently acted in a Malayalam film. His name is Prakash Verma. He recently acted in a Malayalam film. That is his first film, Thudarum. தொடரும்னு ஒரு film வந்திருக்கு இல்லையா தமிழ்ல? The original is Malayalam. Okay. Acted by Mohanlal. Mohanlal sir. Okay. So storytelling is increasingly used in marketing to create memorable campaigns and connect with consumers. So what happens if an advertisement is very thrilling, if it is very eye-catching and entertaining, no, you will have the tendency to go and buy that product. Okay, for that continental coffee or brew coffee, different coffee ads are coming. By seeing that ad, we are going and buying the product. That is human tendency. So numerous advertisements and short films also serve as examples. Short films are nowadays gaining much importance. So that is also a trend. Okay. Now, how to practice storytelling? You all now may ask, you may ask this question. Ma'am, how to practice storytelling? Storytelling has to be practiced first by knowing yourself and knowing the society in which you are living. So observe the world around you. The first and foremost step is to observe the world around you. So pay attention to the language, interactions, stories that are unfolding in public spaces. Look at the language that people are speaking. Look at the interactions that happens every day in your society, and come to know about the stories that is happening that you hear from your neighbors or from the public spaces. Okay, and understand in what type of society you are living in. Then create a setting accordingly. Then read widely. Without reading, we cannot write. Immense reading is required. Avid readers can write stories. Immerse yourself in diverse narratives to learn from different styles of writing, different cultures of writing, and different techniques of storytelling and narration. Okay, so each one will have their own interest. No, one person will be interested in reading comic books. One will be interested in reading detectives. For some other, it will be reading non-fictions. Whatever it is, no problem. Continue reading so that you will learn how to set a plot, how to set a setting, now how to create characters. You will learn all these things. And then don't forget to tap into personal experiences also, because personal experiences have a very big role to play in one's stories. So, for example, Ruskin Bond's stories stand as a very big example for this. Ruskin Bond's story, Binya's Blue Umbrella. Okay, it's a very famous, the Blue Umbrella. What is that? Actually, he shares his own experiences from Shimla. Okay, when he was in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, he had a lot of experiences that he shares in his collection of stories called Blue Umbrella, Binya's Blue Umbrella. Okay. Next, reflect on your life and identify stories that resonate with you and others. So, give importance to your personal life also, so that you will get a lot of things to uh, form, a lot of things to write in your stories from your personal life itself. Okay. So, in short, or in essence, storytelling is a versatile and a powerful art form that has been used to shape cultures, educate generations, and connect individuals across the globe for centuries, and still it goes on. It will never stop. Till the world exists, storytelling and story writing will also exist. Because without stories, we cannot survive. Because we are human beings, right? So this is all about this workshop. So you may think that the class ended very quickly. No, we have some task now. Okay, you all can share your experiences about what books you read, what are the different types of stories that you love to read. Okay, yes, so anyone can come forward and you can share what you understood from this workshop. So, was this workshop useful? Can anyone come forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Soundarya, please share your inputs. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. In this class, we can able to learn the history of storytelling and the art of storytelling, and learned about the principles which are required to tell a story. It's very useful for us to narrate some stories.
exactly. That's correct. Okay, and also let me ask you, do you read stories or do you have any fond writer?
I love to read stories, ma'am.
Hmm, very good.
I read a
Any,
book about
hmm,
I read a book about Swami and his friends, which is written by R.K. Narayan.
hmm, hmm,
I read a few pages, ma'am.
hmm, hmm.
It's more to complete.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Very good. So you can, you have, do you have the collection, Swami and his friends?
I have only one book, ma'am.
One book. Okay, so when you get time, I think maybe you can get the PDF. I think Swami and his friends is very famous, no? So you can even go for the PDF if you don't want to buy the hard copy. You can go. You can just read the entire series. It will be very good. Okay,
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
remember
Mm.
all the stories, but I have also done it during my school days. Okay, fine. So good. Is what about Rakshan? So what could you understand from this workshop? You can just share your thoughts. Action, are you there? Can simply share what you learned from this workshop, or what are the different stories that you read. Okay, Vanita, are you there? Your name, Vanita Shaktivel, are you there? Vanita Shaktivel, இருக்கீங்களா? Okay, what about Gayatri? Santoshi?
Ma'am,
Yes,
this class is. Ma'am, I speak. Ma'am?
yes, Santoshi, yeah, I can hear you.
As
Actually, there is some network issue, Santoshi. I can't hear you. Okay, maybe we will try after some time. Okay, so I will just take you to a story.
Ma'am?
Okay. Yes, Santoshi. ஏதோ network problem இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now it's clear. Now it's clear. You can speak.
This class is very useful, ma'am. I learn thriller story. I like thriller stories, ma'am.
Thriller stories. Very good. Okay. So you are in which class, Santoshi?
Ninth, ma'am.
So you are going to ninth standard. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is a short story that is actually meant for kids, but still we will just go through the story, okay, so that I can just tell you the different aspects which we studied are whether visible in the story or not. Okay, let us see. The name of the story is Day in the Park. Okay, it's a very simple story which is meant for kids till grade third or something, grade second or grade third. Okay. So you can see here, yes, I want somebody to read this first paragraph. Soundarya, can you?
sure, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Once upon a time, in a little town, there were two siblings named Timmy and Tina. They jumped with joy whenever they heard the magical words, "Let's go to the park." One sunny day, they went to the park with their mother. Timmy and Tina arrived at the park, where the sun was shining brightly. They heard the sound of children laughing and saw a fantastic playground. Timmy shouted, "I want to play in the slide."
Okay. So we have one more paragraph. Only two paragraphs because it's a very short story. Who is willing to read? Vanita, are you there? Vanita, can you read this part? Second paragraph?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm Kritilaya, ma'am.
Kritileya. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I called you actually. I called you a
So
few
he,
minutes back. Yeah, but I didn't get any response. I just wanted to know
I didn't
what.
hear before, ma'am.
Okay. So actually, how was this workshop? Did it help you to learn something about story writing or storytelling?
Yeah, I learned a lot, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So what type of stories do you read?
I read fictional stories, ma'am.
Fictional. All right. Okay, please read the second paragraph. Yeah.
So he went to the slide. Tina said, "I love the swings," and went to play on the swings. Their mom watched, happy to see them have so much fun. Timmy and Tina laughed and played, making happy memories. When the sun started to say goodbye, their mom said, "Time to go home, my little ones." As they walked home, Timmy and Tina felt tired but super happy. They shared their favorite parts of the day. They couldn't wait for another sunny day at the park.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So this is the story. So here you can see this is a very simple story with a simple setting. The setting of the story is a park. Okay. It's a playing space. It's a playtime. Okay. And the characters, only three characters are there. Who are the three characters?
Timmy, Tina, and mom.
Mom, Timmy, Tina, and their mother. Okay, and the plot is that Timmy and Tina are two beautiful kids, and those two kids are very fond of playing in the park. And one day, their mom asked them. I mean, their mom told them that they are about to go to the park, and Timmy and Tina became extremely happy. And then what happened? Each one said, "I love swings." One person said, "I love swings." The other one said, "I love slides." Okay, and here you can see Timmy and Tina arrived at the park. where the sun was shining brightly. So the sun was shining brightly. This is an additional point that you're giving. So that to just explain the setting very properly. And they heard the sound of children laughing and they saw a fantastic playground. Timmy shouted that I want to play in the slide, whereas Tina said I love the swings. And they went to play. And their mom became very happy. Timmy and Tina were totally engaged in playing. They forgot themselves. And finally, when the sun set, their mom told it was time to go home. And three of them returned home happily. Okay, so the story is ending with a positive note. The story is ending with a hope. You can see that they could not wait for another sunny day at the park. It means that they are sharing a hope to the readers. You can imagine like this. The next day also, Timmy and Tina will go to park. In the future also, they will go and play in the park. Okay, so this is how a simple story is formed. First, you are forming a setting, and then you are framing the characters. Next, the plot. And in this story, you can see there is no especially any conflict. Before the conflict, after the conflict, you can see the climax is there. Okay, so there is no conflict in these types of stories. So initially, when you start writing stories or when you start reciting stories, don't go for conflicts. Once you are very good at writing, once you are very creative in forming situations, different kinds of scenarios, or different complicated plots, then you can think about forming conflicts. As I told you, conflict is something that comes before the climax and it will create some kind of confusion or some problems, or it can be something that is not expected. Okay, conflicts will always be unexpected only. And climax is slightly dependent on this conflict. Sometimes this climax is inspired by the conflict also. Okay, so now let me take you to another story. This story is something which we can say that any person can read. Okay, I mean school students, any school's child can read up to fifth or sixth standard. But still, you can see the story is a tale. It's a famous Tibetan folk tale. Okay, this is just like Panchatantra tales. Panchatantra tales are ageless. Anyone can read. Even elders sit and read Panchatantra tales. So school students can read this story very well. Okay, let's start. So again, I'm starting with Soundarya. You can start the first paragraph. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. The Tiger and the Frog, a Tibetan folktale. Once upon a time, an old tiger went out hunting for some food. A frog who was sitting next to a small river saw the tiger and thought, "He is coming to eat me up." When the tiger came near, the frog puffed himself up and called out, "Hello, where are you going?" The tiger answered, "I am going up into the forest. I haven't had any food for the 3 days. I am so hungry, I will eat you."
Okay, so once upon a time, an old tiger went out for hunting for some food. And what happened? A frog was sitting next to a small river. And this frog saw the tiger and it thought, oh, this tiger is coming to eat me. So when the tiger came near, the frog puffed himself up and said, puffing means to enlarge himself. Okay, so imagine that this is the frog. Okay, this is my mouse. Okay, so imagine this is the frog. The frog increased its size. It just puffed himself and he asked, hello, where are you going? So the tiger said, I'm going up into the forest and I haven't had any food for 3 days. I'm so hungry and I'm planning to eat you because I'm extremely hungry. So the frog replied, swelling up as big as he could. Swelling means again he puffed himself as big as he could. He made himself big and said, I am the king of the frogs. You cannot eat me. I can do anything. Let's see who can jump across this river. So a test was set by the frog. He challenged the tiger to cross the river. How to cross the river? He said, let us see who can jump across this river. So the frog set a challenge to the tiger to jump across the river. Okay, so let's see what happened next. Yes, Rakshan, are you there? Rakshan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Read the third paragraph. The tiger, third paragraph.
The tiger agreed, and as he crouched ready to jump, The frog got hold of the end of his tail with his mouth, and when Tiger jumped, he was thrown away up the bank across the river.
Okay. So the tiger agreed. Okay, the tiger also accepted the challenge. And as he crouched ready to jump, okay, the tiger, as it was getting himself ready to jump, the frog did one thing. The frog held the end of the tail of the tiger. It caught hold of the end of the tiger's tail with its mouth. And when the tiger jumped, what happened? He was immediately thrown away into the bank of the river. He was thrown away up the bank across the river. It means he was not able to cross the river. He was not able to cross the sea. Or like he was still in the same place itself. He just went up and he fell down. Okay. Yes, Kritilaya, you can read the next paragraph.
The tiger agreed, and as he crouched ready to jump, the frog got hold at the end
That is already read,
of the
Kritilaya. You have to read the next
tail with
paragraph.
his mouth. And after the tiger landed, he was very surprised to see the frog further up the bank. The frog smiled and said, I beat you in the test. Now let's see who can vomit the most. Because the tiger had an empty stomach, he could only throw up a little water. But the tiger spat up some tiger hair.
Okay. So after the tiger fell down, he was very surprised to see the frog further up the bank. So the frog was very good, it was very healthy, it was in a good condition, but this tiger fell down. So the frog smiled and said, I beat you in the test. I bet you in the test. It's not beat, it's bet. Past tense of beat. I bet you in that test. Now let us see who can vomit the most. So sounds weird, no? Why the frog is telling these kinds of challenges? So because the tiger had an empty stomach, and that is the reason the frog very well knew that the tiger cannot vomit, because nothing would be there if it vomits. So the tiger had an empty stomach, and because of that he could only throw up a little water. But the frog spat some tiger hair. How can a frog spit tiger's hair? How could this
Maybe
happen?
because it was grabbing the tiger's tail.
Exactly. It was catching hold the tail of the tiger, no? So at that time, some tiger hair was, what to say, it was just sticking to its mouth. Okay, so it was caught, and it was that tiger hair the frog spat up. Spat up is the past tense of spit up. Okay, துப்புறது சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா அதனோட past tense தான் spat. Yes. Now the tiger, much astonished, asked, how are you able to do that? The tiger was also shocked. So he asked, how are you able to vomit my hair? Okay. So the frog replied, let's see. Yes, Soundarya, please continue.
Yes, ma'am. The frog replied, oh, yesterday I killed a tiger and ate him, and these are just a few of the hairs that aren't yet digested. The tiger thought, he is very strong. Yesterday he killed and ate a tiger, and today he has jumped farther than I did over the river. I will run away before he eats me.
Okay, so what the frog is telling? Oh, yesterday I killed and ate a tiger, and it was not fully digested inside my stomach. And I had just a few tiger hairs, so that I vomited. So now the foolish tiger thought he is very strong. He thought that the frog was very strong. And yesterday he killed and ate a tiger, and today he has jumped farther than I did over the river, so that it's better to run away before he eats him. Okay, so the tiger decided to get rid of the place. Now let us see what happens next. Yes, Kritileya, you can read the next paragraph.
The tiger quickly turned and ran away as fast as he could. As he was running away, he met a fox who asked him why he was running so far. The tiger replied, I met the king of all the frogs, who is very strong, and I was worried he might eat me. The fox laughed at him and said, the little frog is nothing at all. I am only a little fox, but I could put my foot on him and kill him.
Okay. So on the way, the tiger is meeting a fox, and the fox asked him, why are you running so quickly? What happened to you? Why are you running so fast? So the tiger replied, I met the king of all the frogs. He is very powerful, and I am totally afraid of him because if I stay there, he will eat me. So the fox laughed and said, see, that frog cannot do you anything. I am also a little fox only, but still I can kill that fox. I'm sorry, I can kill that frog. I am capable of that. Let us see what happens next. Santoshi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you read the next paragraph? Yeah,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah.
The tiger answered, I will go back with you, but only if we tie our tails together, because I am afraid you will get frightened and run away. So they tied their tails together very tightly and went down to see the frog. The frog saw them coming and called out, Ha, fox, I see you have brought my dinner tied to your tails.
Tail. It's not tail, tail. Okay. So the tiger answered, I will go back with you, but only if we tie our tails together. So as the fox said, nothing to worry about the frog. I can just kill the frog. Who said this? The fox said this. So the tiger said, okay, okay, I will come with you again, but there is one condition. We both have to tie our tails together. Because if something wrong happens, you will quickly run away, leaving me alone. So you have to be with me if there is any problem. If any problem arises, you must be with me. So the tiger answered, and what happened? They tied their tails together and they approached the frog. They started walking towards the frog. And this frog, very trickily, what it did, when it met the fox and the tiger, it asked the fox, fox, I saw you have, I'm sorry, I see you have brought my dinner tied to your tail. So the frog asked the fox, have you brought my dinner that is tied to your tail? So it was actually meaning that the fox has brought the tiger as a dinner for the frog. Can any frog eat a tiger as a dinner or as breakfast or as lunch? Can a frog eat a tiger? Definitely, we know the answer. It is no. But still, what happened? This fox believed it, and the tiger also believed it. They believed that the frog was very powerful. So, what happened finally? On hearing this, the tiger thought he had been tricked by the fox and was frightened that the frog would eat him. So, he turned and ran away as fast as he can, dragging the poor fox with him. So, this is the story. Though this is a funny story, we get to know some simple moral. What is the moral of this story? Can we form some moral? I think we can get a moral from this. We can say that physical power is not the one that has to be valued. It is not always the physical power that has to be valued. Mental power is also valuable. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you are physically fit or not. If you are mentally intelligent, if you are mentally wise, then that is what matters. Because here the frog is a very little creature, but still it challenged the tiger, it frightened the tiger, the fox. How? Because of its wisdom. Okay, so now we have some questions here. I'm not taking you to the question answer section. Okay, now just look at the last question. Okay, last question is easy. You can do it. Which adjectives from the box would you use to describe the frog and the tiger? So in the box, there are 15 adjectives. Generous, polite, brave, easygoing, intelligent, quick-witted, gullible, stupid, confident, dim, serious, foolish, frightened, friendly, and affectionate. So let us see what are the adjectives that we can use to describe the frog. Yes, Rakshan, can you give one adjective from the box? Each person can tell one adjective, one or two adjectives.
Intelligent frog.
Very good. Intelligent. Yes, Soundarya.
Ma'am, quick-witted.
Quick-witted. Good. Quick-witted means the one who can easily form an answer by facing the situation. அதானது சிச்சுவேஷனுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி பேச தெரியறது சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா that is called quick-wittedness. Very good. Santoshi, can you give an adjective for frog?
Confident, ma'am.
It was confident. Very good. The frog was very confident. Yes. And maybe I will tell one. Okay, there is one more, one or two more, I think. Pritileya, can you try? So we already said that the frog was intelligent, quick-witted, confident. Yes, Kritileya, can you give an answer?
Brave.
Brave, very good, very good. The frog was brave, and I can also tell the frog was a little bit serious also, because only a person who is a bit serious can be quick-witted and can be confident also. Though his conversations were very funny, he was serious because he wanted to save his life. Okay, so now let us see the adjectives for the tiger. Yes, Soundarya, can you start?
Yes, ma'am. The frog, the frightened
Very good. The frog
tiger.
was sorry, the tiger. The tiger was frightened. Very good. Action.
Ma'am, foolish tiger.
Exactly. The tiger was foolish. It was a frightened tiger, foolish tiger. Kritilaya.
Dim.
Dim. It was dim because its brain was not working properly. So we can consider it as a dim tiger. Yes, Santoshi.
Stupid, ma'am.
Stupid. Yes, it is a stupid tiger because it didn't have the brain to understand that a frog cannot do anything. And there is one more word that matches gullible. Gullible means to easily believe what someone says. யாரா ஏதாவது சொல்றதுக்குள்ள அப்படியே நம்புறது சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா அப்படியே ஓ அப்படியான்னு கேட்டு அப்படியே அதுல விழுந்துடுறது. That is called behaving in a gullible manner. So the tiger was gullible, stupid, dim, foolish, frightened also. Okay. Actually, in this question, we don't have this part, but still, you can see about the fox. Can we have any adjective? Is any adjectives
Ma'am,
for the fox?
generous.
Generous. The
Generous.
fox, yes, fox is usually considered to be a cunning creature, no? But here we can see it is a generous animal because it comes forward to help the tiger. Okay. Then we can say that it was easygoing. The fox was easygoing also. It told, no, yeah, I will help you. Please come. Likewise. And the serious actually we can consider it for the tiger because the tiger only took everything seriously, no? Actually, I didn't think in that angle. Serious can be taken for tiger. Okay. And then generous means just discussing the words. Generous means to be very benevolent. அதானது யார் எது கேட்டாலும் எடுத்து கொடுக்கறது சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா to be very open. That is called generous. Polite means, to be kind, be soft, and affectionate means to be in a lovingly manner, to be kind, lovable. And gullible, as I told you, that may be a new word for you. Gullible means to easily believe what other people are telling. Okay, so here you can see these questions. I will just share this in the group. Okay, just go through these questions. Okay, so that you will be easy. You can easily form answers also. And one thing which is related to the story writing is forming questions to oneself. For example, here you can see, how was the frog able to jump across the river? How did the tiger feel when he saw the frog had jumped across the river? Why was the frog able to vomit tiger hair? That is an important question. Then, why does the fox laugh at the tiger? So, forming questions to yourself will help you find a proper answer. And so that what happens, you will gain a better understanding of whatever you are going to write. So you will get a better understanding of how the script, how the plot should be, what are the changes that you need to bring to the plot, etc. All right. So I think this session was interesting. Actually, I thought of giving you more stories, but restricting to our time. Okay. It's already 12:02, right? So that is why I'm winding up the session. Yes, hope you all loved the session a lot. Okay, so meet you all on next Saturday. And for communicative class, we have tomorrow's spoken English class at 10 a.m. So if you are joining, let us meet there. All right, students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.